Hey, Roland, I got my first FT8 digital contact today on 10 meters.
Roland, you there? Not sure what's going on there.
Can somebody hear me?
I can hear somebody. Who's talking?
I'm Gene May.
Hey, Gene, this is Mike.
Roland, if you can hear us, you're muted. It looks like you're talking, but we're not hearing anything.
All right, how do I do that?
What are you trying to do, Gene?
If I'm muted,
There you go.
Okay, this is Roland. Can everybody hear me?
Hey, Roland. Yes, we can.
Yeah, I've been talking away with my microphone on mute. That's one of the joys of Zoom, I think. Well, anyway, welcome everybody to our January meeting. It's good to see all of you, and you're all looking pretty hale and hearty. And I don't know if you noticed, but Roger's growing a pretty nice little beard. Clearly staying home means he can also stay away from the razor, which is just fine, just fine. All right, well, let's get our meeting underway. Let's see here, if I do this correctly. All right, for our agenda this evening, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll, as we know, we've got new officers that just have started as of tonight. According to the Constitution, the new officers take their office as of the first meeting in January. And then we'll have Rona give us the minutes from the last meeting. We'll look for a treasurer's report from her. I'm going to give you a report on the severe weather exercise. We're going to talk a little bit about the fact that we're being offered the opportunity to get an early vaccination from COVID-19. And then Tyler's going to spend some time working through some of our planning for 2021, and we definitely would like your input, on all of that. Okay. So, and if any of you come up with anything else you want to talk about as we move along, please unmute and say something. It'd be quite all right, to do that. But let's go ahead and get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mike Stewart, would you mind leading us in the pledge?
I'd be glad to. All those who are citizens of the United States, please remove your headgear, salute the flag, and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, play ball. Yep. All right, officer introductions. Based on your votes in election last December, I've been invited to be the president of the club for the coming year. Tyler Wilson has been put in place as the vice president, and he's going to get a lot of opportunity to do things. We've also introduced a new office, which is vice president for Wendover, and Blake Hutchinson is taking that position, and then reelected to their same position as Rona and Mert. Meanwhile, the past president, Rob Andrews, is now a member of our board and attends our board meetings and helps us to be able to stay, in some kind of consistency as we're going on. I haven't seen Rob on yet. Is Rob here? I talked to him a little earlier today, and he said he was going to be here, but I don't.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I must have had it muted or something here.
All right. So, Rob, if he was here, I was going to ask him to if he had any last words of wisdom for us.
I'm here. I just don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, I can hear you now. Okay, good. All right. Yes, you are. You're on.
You know, it's been great. The last 3 years have been incredible. We've done a lot of changes to the club. We've added a lot of new activities. I mean, now when I first became president of the club, we had to go to Salt Lake to take our tests. Now we can do them here locally. We've had a lot more activity with the training and the boot camps. I really wish we could do boot camps again, because that is a wonderful opportunity to not only help our new people, but we had people from outside the area that came that wanted to learn. And I know going forward, Roland's going to be a dynamo that's going to keep pushing things. And I think we're in good hands. I'll turn it back over to you, Roland.
Well, thank you, Rob. One of the things that I know is that this is a fairly opportune time from Rob's standpoint, because his job changed and he's going to be literally heavy travel. Fortunately, we're doing an awful lot of this stuff by Zoom, so he'll be able to continue to be involved and connect up with us, because apparently every place he's traveling has internet, which is which is goodness. Okay. So we're ready for minutes, Rona.
Okay, the minutes for the West Desert Amateur Radio Club meeting held December 2nd, 2020 via Zoom at 4 p.m. or 7 p.m. Meeting started with the welcome from President Robert Andrews. Pledge allegiance was led by Roland Smith. The treasurer's report was given by Mert Russo. Motion to accept by Glenn Murray, seconded by Tyler Wilson. Motion was accepted by the club. A request for approval to pay $5.20 to Robert Andrews for purchases for the club, and $359.24 to Roland Smith for purchases for the club. Motion was approved, paying back for these purchases made by Glenn Murray and seconded by Mike Stewart. Motion accepted by the club. The minutes were read by Rona Boutwell. Motion to accept by Glenn Murray and seconded by Robert Andrews. Motion to accept by the club. Roland Smith delivered instructions on how to vote for the incoming presidency. Information was given about the winter weather reporting drill and the presentation and activities for the election Christmas party. Activities include slideshow of 20 plus members' ham shacks. Drawings were held for different prizes that were given to numerous members of the meeting. Prizes were given for one individual for showing his ham shack. Exiting remarks were made by Robert Andrews. Election results were announced. President-elect is Roland Smith. Vice President-elect is Tyler Wilson. Wendover Vice President-elect is Blake Hutchinson. Secretary-elect is Rona Boutwell. Treasurer-elect is Mert Russo. Dennis Tracy gave information about Wreaths Across America. On December 19th, he will go to all cemeteries in Tooele County to place a wreath in honor of those that have served in the military. He will also be broadcasting over the radio as he travels. Motion to adjourn the meeting by Mert Russo, seconded by Mike Stewart, accepted by the club. Meeting adjourned at 8:38 p.m. Now, the only thing I request, this isn't on there, but the only thing I request is when you motion and second, can you say who it is that's doing it so I can catch your names whenever you motion? And that is it.
Okay, I'll take a motion well, first off, is there any discussion or changes anybody sees that we need to make to the minutes? Okay, well, I'll take a motion.
I motion we accept Mike Stewart.
Okay, so Mike Stewart is a motion that we accept.
Rob Andrews will second.
Rob Andrews is seconding. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
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 Anybody who is not in favor, please speak up. Okay, so the motion carries. All right, Mert, it's your turn. Tell us about the money.
All right. So we had one check that was written in December for $359.24, and that was to Roland for all the goodies that we were given last month. So our balance forward is $674.76. There were no deposits made this month because Friday we're gonna switch banks. Just a heads up for everybody. Key banks going out the window. Yay! I'm hoping I'm not offending anybody that likes to bank. I apologize, but yay, we're gonna go to someplace that's open a little bit later than 5 o'clock. Also, Ray Writing is gonna do shirts for us. If you like one of the polo shirts, does anybody have one on? Let me check real quick. I don't think anybody has one on today. Nope, nobody has one on. They're like light blue and they have the logo embroidered on the shirt and then your name on the other side. If you want a shirt, let me know. We'll get pricing for that.
Also has the call sign under the name Mert.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. And then instead of the hats that are silk screen, we're gonna get hats that are embroidered. So if you want a hat that
Vincent's holding up one of the shirts.
Check out Vince. He's doing the Vanna White for us there.
Who's doing that?
Vince.
Oh, there you go. Can you guys all see it? Here,
Yep.
talk, Vince, then you'll be on it.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So here's a shirt with our patch on one side and call sign on the other. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And so if you're interested in that, let us know so we can kind of get some numbers put together and then we'll get a cost on what they are. Last time I think they're around, I want to say 50. Was that right?
Yeah.
That's about right. $50.
Yeah, it was about $50. The other thing.
What about the hat?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Ray's giving me a quote, and so I'm trying to get numbers to kind of get a better deal. I don't know if that makes sense. You order more, you get you pay less, that type of thing. So, so I'm trying to guesstimate about how many we might need. And then if you want a shirt, I need to know your size as well. There are men's sizes. I don't think, Rona, remind me, did they come in women's sizes? I don't think they did they?
Yeah, we have both women's sizes and men's sizes. Yeah.
Okay, they came in both then. Okay,
they
so
were either with a pocket or without a pocket.
That's right. There's all the awesome. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Roland.
They also go up to larger sizes also. So you're not limited to just extra L or 2XL. You can go up 3 or 4XL, whatever you need to.
Yeah, which is nice. Yeah. So that's really good information for that. So if you're interested, I'd say let me know if you're interested in a shirt or hat, and then then I can get pricing a little bit more solid. Right now, here, let me look it up what he sent me. Hold on just a sec. Right now the cost, yeah, So yeah, the hats, we were debating if we should go a different style of hat. So that's going to be all depending as well. One hat was $11. One hat was $6. I don't know. So give me a shout out if you want one and what size of shirt you want. And then we can kind of go from there. Does that make sense? Hopefully that does. And then the last thing I have is we started a grant for the ARRL. There's a lot of more things that we're going to kind of solidify and get in stone, but just a heads up, there's good things going on in the club. And other than that, I think that's it. So,
Okay, so there's a few in the chat room have indicated their interest.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
So that's Mert's treasurer report. Anybody have any questions or anything they want to bring up about that? Any discussion?
Can you tell us some more about the ARRL grant?
We're still kind of okay. So we're still kind of working on it, trying to simplify all the details. But they're looking for interest in helping youth, and so I came up with the idea, and it still has to go through all the steps and whatnot. But we actually all came up with the idea that if we could get Roland had this idea for a long time to get a starter pack. Somebody comes in, gets their ham radio license. Let's give them something. Let's give them a radio and some stuff to get them going, right? Like that's Roland's idea. That's what he's been for 3 years now 2 years that I worked with him. He's got a brilliant idea there. And so my idea was to maybe give, if a youth comes, then give them a free radio. So I don't know. We're still kind of solidifying all that, but the AERL will give up to about $3,000, which is, a good chunk of change and a good start for us. So the thing with the club is that they want to see a lot of fundraising. Any grant, right? Like any grant you write, they're going to want to see what are you putting in forth as far as what are you vested in the grant? And so we're trying to think of fundraising ideas. If you guys come up with any, I thought about maybe just asking anybody if they want to pitch in $5 or $10, then we can put that towards the grant. But we're just trying to figure out what's the best way to raise some funds, get some money. So if you have any ideas, shoot me an email. I like to see that. And then obviously the club would be providing a lot of free stuff that, like, if we do a boot camp online, that would be a free admission if they get their ham radio license during that year, that type of thing. So that's just kind of some ideas. If you have any ideas, shoot me an email. Love to hear them.
Go ahead.
Again?
Is the grant is that just an outright grant? Is it a cash match? Is it reimbursed or what?
It's just an outright $3,000. So, but a lot of the questions are those questions that I brought up with you. What are you doing for fundraising? What are you doing? How are you making ham radio something that's going to be continuing on in your community in the future? That type of thing. So, anyway,
a couple of things that you can put in there are the things that the club's been doing. For instance, field day. For instance, anytime they've set the trailer up somewhere to attract people, for the scouts, for all that. That's the kind of stuff you want to list in it.
Right, Glenn. And I know you're an expert in this, so I might hit you up on some advice. So
okay.
Thanks for your help.
All right.
Yeah, and I think we're going to rope Clint Thompson into this too because of his rollover at the Blue Peak High School.
Right.
Yep. Kind of an affair. Hopefully this year they're going to actually be able to do their balloon launch, and maybe we can be a little bit more of a part of that activity as well. Any more discussion?
Lately, I've ran into a couple of people that they've got their license, they've never gotten a radio, and they've never gone beyond that. Maybe there's some way we can find some way of helping them get involved.
Well, cool. Give us some suggestions of who that might be.
Well, I have 3 people down here, JD Vonk, and Joanne Nordgren and Lynn Cook. They've all got licenses and none of them have got radios.
Aha. Well, okay. Well, we're going to reach out to them and see if we can get them involved and help them get a radio. Yeah. Any more discussion related to that? And if not, go ahead.
I had one thing I wanted to discuss, and it could fall under this as well. So first thing, my son, he was 10, he was wanting to get his ham radio license. So I'm excited about that. He's on chapter 4 now as far as studying for the test. But anyway, I came up with an idea that might help promote the ham radio club. But basically, if we could sponsor some kids that want to talk on the radio, for instance, if we scheduled a time and then maybe even our own kids could talk to each other over the radio, maybe even on the intertie if we wanted to schedule a time to try to make that happen. But did you like talking with because Aiden was able to talk to another boy his age who was sponsored by another ham radio operator, and it was a good experience for him. So anyway, it's an idea.
That's a good one. We're going to put it in the pot. Now Tyler's going to be talking about some of these things and soliciting some of your ideas here in just a minute. So Scott, that's one of them we want to put into the hat. I would take a motion to accept the treasurer report.
One second here, Roland, before
Yeah.
we do. Just a quick thought I had. There's a lot of different ham radio clubs here in the state and around the area. Might not be a bad idea to reach out to some of them and see if they have any suggestions that have worked well for them as well.
Good idea.
And
Very good idea.
I'll offer that motion if there's no further discussion.
Okay, so Mike has motioned to accept the treasurer's report. Can I have a second?
I'll second it. Rob Andrews.
Okay, Rob seconded it. Are there any? All those in favor, wave or say aye.
Aye.
If anybody is opposed, wave or say no. Okay, motion carries. I see Dennis Tracy is on. Dennis, I listened all day for you on the radio and didn't hear you once, but I would like to know how your trek across Utah went.
Okay. Bad news and bad news and additional bad news. On Thursday, we had like light freezing rain. I went out the back door of my house and I hit the concrete and hit it hard. Thinking that I only had a sprain, I decided I was going to go continue forward. However, after I got 3/4 of the way to Windover, I realized I had grabbed the wrong radio bag and I did not have the ability to put up the radio. I spent the night in Windover. Dusty Thomas and I took off at a little bit after 6 and arrived at Ibapa at 8 o'clock, where we were met by Kyle, who took us to the Civil War grave that they have out there in Ibapa. We continued through the entire day, finally ending up at Lake Point about 6 o'clock in the evening. On Monday morning, I went in and found that I had been stomping around Tooele County on a broken ankle. So, yeah, I didn't get the radio part of it going, but the wreaths all were put out. And I'm now sitting here with a walking boot, wondering what the hell happened here. 2020 was not supposed to spill into 2021.
Okay.
But it certainly has with a vengeance.
Well, Dennis, thank you very much for the report. I did miss you on the radio. I had the radios on, around with me the whole day, the whole 2 days, just hoping to hear a report. But glad to know that you made it all the way through.
We're laughing with you, not at you, Dennis.
The that somebody said that the worst thing he bought last year was a 2020 planner. Yep. And then I heard somebody else say, well, you think 2020 is bad? Wait till it turns 21 and starts drinking. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Dennis. Appreciate that. We appreciate that report. Okay, so wanted to talk a little bit about the winter weather, severe weather exercise that we did. Go ahead. Somebody had something to say? Okay, so we did do the severe weather exercise on the 30th of December. We did some area net control training on Tuesday night, and then we had the exercise on Wednesday evening from 8 to 9 p.m. local time. I'd like to thank Roger and Scott, Trevor, Rick and Glenn and Blake and Tyler for acting as the area net control stations. And you can see we had a total of 20 stations check in during that 1 hour time period. And we got 32 weather reports, that came in. A part of this exercise was to, the data was all being entered by the area net control operators into a web page. And then on this end, we had a program that was reading that data and synthesizing it and translating it into rates of change and feeding that into the web EOC system that the Emergency Operations Center uses for their incident management system. And that worked incredibly well. So I appreciate all of you who took the time that evening to check in. Anybody have any comments or discussion about that particular exercise?
I did learn that I needed to upgrade my antenna, which I have done now. So I'm good to go now. Sorry, Roland. I kind of missed anyway, people checking in on at least west and north of Vine Street.
I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay, so I think I didn't get that thing shared so that you could see it. There's the report. I'm not sure that that you all saw that. Okay, Scott, that definitely we have lessons learned on that. Anybody else have any thoughts or suggestions or anything related to that particular exercise or a similar future exercise?
Roland, I just wanted to point out, you and I discussed this a little bit earlier, but one of the stations got really frustrated with me because I couldn't understand his call sign. And I have a little bit of hearing loss. And so the importance of using the phonetic alphabet when calling in reports like this was reinforced to me. Because I mean, this poor guy, he was saying it over and over and over again, but for some reason wouldn't use the phonetic alphabet, and I felt bad because I had to keep saying, did you say Mike Foxtrot Echo, or did you say whatever? It wasn't Mike Foxtrot Echo, just that's the letters that came to my head. But anyway, I had to keep saying that over and over again, and he was getting pretty frustrated with me. So I just wanted to say that's one thing that was reinforced to me was the importance of that phonetic alphabet when you're trying to transfer information like that. It really is important, because of radio conditions, because hearing conditions like I have, it really becomes important. Over.
Thank you.
Comment on that real quick.
Trevor, go ahead.
Also, when giving your call signs, taking it slow and using the phonetic alphabet helps a great deal as well.
Yeah. Glenn, how about on your end? Any observations or anything? I think
The ones
Go ahead. Go ahead.
that came through were, well, it was me and one other guy, I think, that did the reporting, but it just needed to be more people participating. But for exercise, it went okay.
Okay. Rick, how about your area?
Well, I think we did pretty well. I had a real hard time with the first two. I couldn't hear anything. It was very garbled, and which meant the caller was extremely frustrated. I think one of the things we should add to the form is a compass card that allows us to actually place, because it was never just north or northwest. These were scientific readings people were giving me, and I had no way to give those to you, with a dot. But I think for the most part, I think it was great. And I did already order a hands-free headset because that was a real drawback for me. I'm not great at typing anyway, but doing it with the left hand was really challenging.
Yes. Yep. Hands-free makes a lot of difference. Being able to operate hands-free, or be able to type while you're operating without having to hold the push to talk button or anything of that nature. Yeah. Blake, out in Wendover, you were the only person that got on.
Hello. I guess I'm getting through, aren't I?
Yeah,
Audio
you are.
wise?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Last time I tried this after my computer crashed, I couldn't get everything lined up. But anyway, yeah, I enjoyed it myself, but I'm guessing you got that email I sent you?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed because I didn't have anybody local here check in at all for the whole thing. I was kind of ashamed, actually. One thing I've noticed, and I guess everybody out here besides James, because I gave him a stronger radio, these people with these little mini Bofang, butt fang, whatever you call those radios, they have got to do something power wise and antenna wise, because when I'm pumping 80 watts out of my base station running simplex around here, and people across town on the Utah side are telling me I'm breaking up, wrong. That is not, it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm willing to help them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's plenty of little, I've made homemade little HT antennas that Kikani on store-bought stuff before. I'm willing to help anybody, but anyway, frustration, I guess. My biggest part out here. Go ahead.
Okay, so then my last question related to all of this is, we're gonna hold another exercise of some sort, probably in March, and one of the things I'm concerned about is getting our participation levels up. The number of people who actually, this one was the simplest possible, because you could literally sit in your easy chair at home and press the push to talk button and give a report. The one in March may, we haven't decided with TCEM what that exercise is going to be, but it may well require some a little bit more activity. But we're going to need to work on recruiting more people to become involved in the process. Kind of affair. I know that there are a couple of people who told me they because they didn't have a base station, they didn't think they could participate, and so I think we've got to be much more clear when we're sending out the instructions that of exactly what the equipment requirements are. Anybody else have any comment related to that winter exercise?
Just one last thing, Roland. Sorry, who'd I step on? Just to let you know, I've still got that list of ham radio operators, as far as here in town, and out in Montello. And now that I got my computer back to life and that, I'm going to start working on that, contact, trying to get hold of everybody. So I'll keep you informed down the road.
Okay, sounds good. All right, somebody else had something to say.
Yeah, I was going to say, I went on the radio. I got on the frequency. I called, no response. So I went over onto the repeater. I called, no response. Then I found out it was on the 31st and not the 30th that I was trying.
I got the date wrong. Okay. Well, we'll give you, we'll
I
give
knew,
you.
I knew it was the last day of the month is what I was thinking. It was the very last day of the month. So I went to the last day of the month. I didn't realize it was the day before the last day of the month.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Thank you. Appreciate that, Roman. All right. Let me go on to our next little topic. This is kind of an interesting thing. The
Hey, Roland, real quick.
Yeah.
I was just thinking it might be worth just doing a simplex exercise sometime,
Okay.
to test everyone's equipment.
And that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Anybody not see it? All right, so I attended a meeting last evening for Tooele Responds, and part of the discussion had to do with the rollout of a program for the vaccination here in Tooele County. Tracy Fraley from the Tooele County Health Department was on, and we talked a little bit about it. She was looking and wondering whether or not it might be possible to get some volunteers that would be able to help with the handling people and crowds and so on when they start being very serious about vaccinating the whole county. She called me this morning and said that she'd been talking with Bucky over at Tooele County Emergency Management and with the officials there at the health department, and they determined and decided that we as an ARES group are part of the responders, and as a consequence, we're eligible to get vaccinated now. With that, I went down this afternoon, and Nina and I went down and we got our first jab. It's a 2 jabs vaccination. You get one now and one 4 weeks later as a booster. And so she's got times of, they're doing vaccinations all afternoon, tomorrow afternoon. And then she said that there's be some additional times available next week. So if there's any of you who want to get a vaccination like right now, you need to register. So go to the website, westdesertarc.org, and click on WDARC event registration. So let's see we'll bring that up. So you go to West Desert Amateur Radio Club, you click on event registration over here, select the COVID-19 vaccination and say that you're going to register for the event. I told her that I would send her a list of people tomorrow morning, and all you got to do is just show up at the health department, tell them you're part of the ham radio group, and they will vaccinate you. I think this is an interesting opportunity, and one of the few times of being a ham radio guy, it's paying off for me in the process. Okay, so if there's any of you who want to get vaccinated and you have the opportunity to be able to get vaccinated tomorrow or during the day sometime next week, go out to the website and get yourself registered so I can provide that information over to Tracy. Right now, she said she's got 50 doses of vaccine set aside specifically for us. And if there's more needed, they will make that available too. So, but right now there's now 48 doses of the vaccine available because Nina and I took 2 of them. Are there any questions anybody has about that?
So is there any age limit to that, or is it just anybody who's a member?
All you got to be is on my list.
Gotcha. Cool. Because I know you were talking about earlier today that they're getting ready to do the seniors, and I didn't know if this was part of that or not.
I think we might be have the opportunity to assist when they start doing the seniors, but one of the requirements to be able to assist when they start doing that is to have been vaccinated yourself.
Is it possible to get on the list but not get the dose until I'm out of the hospital?
Excuse me, say that again.
So, is it possible for me to be on the list but not get the vaccination until I'm out of the hospital? Because they won't do it while I'm here in the hospital. It's stupid.
Yeah. I can put you on the list, Casey, but you're going to have to get out of the hospital because you have to go down to the Tooele County Health Department to get vaccinated.
Right. Sounds like I might actually be out within a week. So.
Okay. Well, if you can get out within the week, we can get you in. So go register.
Okay, I will do that.
Anybody else have any questions?
Can you say again, Roland, the time period for tomorrow?
From 1 to 4:30.
Roger.
And just so you guys know, it hurts like the dickens. Like the next day, it hurts really bad.
Oh, well, I don't know. I haven't felt a thing yet.
Neither one of us.
Neither one of us. So I don't know. Which vaccine did you get? Did you get the Pfizer or the?
No, the Moderna.
Yeah, that's the one we got today too.
Yeah.
Well, so we got something to look forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, wait till tomorrow, then let me know how y'all feel.
Okay, but it was an efficient process. There's a little bit of paperwork to fill out, and they give you a jab, and you sit down for 15 minutes to make sure you're not passing out, and then they send you on your way. Then you come back a month later to get the second shot. Kind of fair. Any other questions or anything related to that anybody wants to bring up?
Roland, there's one thing I would like to bring up, that if you do get the COVID shot, you cannot donate blood for between 1 and 3 weeks. Where you've got the 2 dose, you cannot donate for 3 weeks after you've had that second dose.
Yeah, so if you got a rare blood type like Rob does, and they need you would not be available to donate blood until that 3-week period is up. That's what you're telling us, right, Rob?
That's correct. Yes, I found that out because I just donated a couple weeks ago. They like me, like you say, I'm a rare blood donor, so they like my blood.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have any particular comments related to that? All right. Well, then I'm going to turn the time over to Tyler Wilson, who is going to talk with us about 2021 and what kinds of things we're thinking about, and want to get what your thoughts are onto the agenda as well. So, Tyler, go ahead and share your screen. You are good to go.
All right, thanks. So if you hear a bird screeching in the background, just ignore it. That's Petey. He likes to think he needs to have attention. But we'll see if this works. All right. So in our first meeting of the year as the officers elect, we talked about a lot of really great ideas that we had for this coming year. And then Roland and I had another good conversation just the other night about all the really cool stuff we'd like to do. But the problem is there's only so many of us, and
come on over.
There's only so much we can accomplish as club officers. So we wanted to go through some ideas and put some ideas up here on the screen and solicit folks out there who have expertise in those areas that would be willing to assist us in having these kind of activities or events for the club. So this is just kind of an overview of what I'm going to talk to you about tonight. We need your help. Roland has lots and lots of experience, and here next month I'll have an entire year of experience to contribute. So Roland has the experience and I've got the enthusiasm, but we need your help. All right, so that's what my whole presentation here is. I'm hoping to spark some ideas from you guys and somebody to volunteer and help us get these on. We're willing to do the legwork as club officers. We're willing to, you know, help you out to get your ideas to the rest of the club, but it would be great to have some volunteers. So first and foremost, in order to keep this meeting from going on for 3 hours, Roland and I came up with the idea, if you, while you're listening and something I say sparks an idea that you have, please put it in the chat. I know several of you have already figured out the chat function down there. So throw it in the chat and Roland will be sure to save the chat before he closes the meeting. And so we'll have that all written down. Or if you'd like to volunteer, if you have some ham radio topic that really makes you excited and you'd like to proselytize it to the world, then put your name in there and your topic and you know what you'd like to do. And we're going to use the chat function as our official record of those ideas and volunteers. Or if you don't like the chat function, my email address is right there. It's my callsign@gmail.com, and shoot me an email and we'll put it on the list. I'm really excited to get this club moving. And, you know, half of the reason I wanted to become a ham radio operator is because I love the community service idea, the idea that I can help out my community in a time of need. And I've had a couple of opportunities to do that with the exercises we've had. And I really want to do more of that. I also want to learn. I love learning new tricks. And I'm one of those learners. I can't learn by reading a book. I've posted questions to Facebook groups and I've posted questions to forums, and they always come back, check out the RL antenna book. And I think that really doesn't help me. And Elmer showing me how to build an antenna goes a lot farther in my learning experience than any book would. So the first topic I wanted to talk about was the virtual boot camp. So obviously with the COVID situation, we won't be able to have in-person boot camps, but we've got Zoom, and Zoom even has the capability of having breakout sessions so that Roland can set it up so that we can start up with a meeting like this, and then we can break off and you can go to another Zoom conference. And so we can do a boot camp. What we need for that boot camp are ideas for classes. These are some of the things that Roland and I talked about, you know, ideas that we have. He said, Rob gave a really great class last year on alternate power for mobile operations. I know, Scott, I know you've got some interest in building batteries. I've got a battery I got here. I just got to get the BMS wired up to it, and it'll be good to go. But that's kind of important for a lot of people. How do I power my radio when I'm on the move? HF operations for technicians. I'll be honest with you. It was from February to April that I was a technician. I didn't even think about HF because I didn't think there was any HF allowances for technicians. I didn't study the chart close enough. Trevor Fossen proved me wrong. He was on HF doing FT8 contacts and getting DX contacts long before he got his general. And so I would like to make sure that all the technicians out there don't fall into that trap I did and didn't study the radio band chart close enough and miss out on the opportunity to talk to people overseas, make contacts overseas just because they're a technician. Field expedient antennas. Scott mentioned that his antenna was insufficient for the task of the severe weather exercise. Well, what if you're out in the boonies and you've got an emergency and your antenna's broke? Do you know how to rig one up out of coax cable or or a tape measure or, a steel rod, that would be a great class to teach, especially to the new guys who aren't in it far enough to put down the $200 or $300 for a professional antenna. You can say, listen, I can get you an antenna with close that amount of gain. You can buy the supplies at the dollar store. So next topic, something that I'm struggling with myself, logging your contacts. About the only logbook I've used so far is QRZ in a piece of paper. I would love somebody to show me how Logbook of the World works, or your favorite logging program. If you have one that you're really in love with and you think is idiot proof, I'm just the idiot you're looking for. All right, show me how it works. Digital modes. This goes into the disaster preparation. This past summer, I supported the Squaw Peak 50-mile race, and as preparation for that, they had me download an app on my phone. It's built by the same guy that built the hamstudy.org app. And what we did was we loaded into that app a list of all the racers, their bib numbers and their names. And then as they came through our aid station, we would type their bib numbers into our phone. And when we got a batch of them, 20 or 25 of them, we would hit transmit and hold our phone up to our radio, and it would transmit. The phone would make the modem sound, transmit that up to the net control. And so instead of me sitting there reading the names of 25 runners who'd gone through my station, they just held their radio up, or their phone up to the radio, and they received all 25 racers just like that. I thought, that's really neat for a race. What's that got to do with the real world? And somebody pointed out to me that if it was a disaster situation and I was manning a Red Cross refugee station, and I'm taking information from refugees as they're flooding in the door, and I need to transmit that information up to a central point so they know where everybody's gone, that same application could be used for that purpose as well. Rather than me getting on there and trying to get my alphas and my deltas across the air, I just push the button and then transmit it, and they receive it on the other end, and they've got my list. The last one kind of goes with what Rona said. I'm a technician. Why do I need general or extra? I think for a virtual boot camp, it would be great to have a class to show people what more they get out of being a general or extra. I know a lot of folks get it because they're emergency preparation, or they get it to talk while they're out hunting or four-wheeling, and that's cool. I completely understand that, and there's no problem with people that want to just stay a technician. But let's come up with a presentation or a class to show people what's the benefits of upgrading. Another topic that Roland and I talked about a lot was the third Wednesday Elmer nights. And once again, these will have to be virtual for the near future. Or when the weather gets a little bit better, we could do some outdoors things so that we have plenty of room to socially distance and so forth. But here's some possible topics for Elmer nights. All right. Once again, we would love to have some people volunteer for these topics and say, hey, I've got a great plan for a tape measure Yagi. I built it, and I got 1.1 SWR across both 2 meters and 70 centimeters. I would love to share that with the class, right? Using a VNA, that's something that I've struggled with since I started trying to build my own antennas. Anyone out there that has any of these skills, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to set up an Elmer night and give you a chance to teach everybody. Finally, the activities. This is where the rubber meets the road, right? This is using your radio for something besides consuming your extra spending money, right? Of course, we have field day. Trevor asked on the Facebook page about winter field day. I don't even know when that is, but I'd love to participate. SOTA and POTA, if you don't know, that's Summits on the Air or Parks on the Air. It's kind of a contest where you go out and you go to a summit as defined by the SOTA rules, and you make 10 contacts, and they say you've activated that summit. It's really fun, and I can tell you that here in Tooele County, we have 24 summits that have yet to be activated by anyone. So we got a lot of that stuff in our own backyard. Parks on the Air is the same thing, but it's with national parks or state parks or wildlife management areas. The POTA website has a list of the parks that are eligible, and they do take requests for new parks if they don't have it on your list. Fox hunts. The Utah Valley Amateur Radio Club last summer was doing a lot of fox hunts, and I thought that was really great. If we have somebody that owns, one of the little transmitters that we can put out there and give people a boundary, say it's north of Vine and west of Main Street, and the first person that gets it gets a free roll of toilet paper, right? Or something like that. If somebody's got a transmitter or knows how to build one, we would love to set up some of those. The emergency emergency exercises, like I said, that's one of the key reasons I got into radio, to help out with these kind of things. We've done the severe weather reporting. If you guys remember, we had the Great American Shakeout on the same day as a real shakeout. That was kind of fun. Search and rescue ops, if it would be interesting to have somebody go out on the desert and making clear that it's an exercise so we don't get the National Guard involved. Call in for help and see how well we can coordinate getting help out there to a person. It would be great to do some of these activities, but get out and radio instead of sitting in your shack all the time. Let's get our radios portable, get out and do stuff with them. So the schedule that I made, I'm not joking when I say it's tentative. I really just sat there and made it up last night. So if you're going to write it down on your calendar, use a pencil. But this is just kind of the vague ideas that Roland and I had talked about. Somewhere in the February and March timeframe, we want to host a technician class, and then sometime after the technician class, a virtual boot camp. Kind of hoping to get those newly minted technicians involved in something, so they don't become one of those that Rona talked about, that they get technician and then they kind of disappear. The virtual boot camp would be a great place. We tell them, if you show up for the virtual boot camp, we give you, this or that or the other thing, something to help them get involved. We want to set up a general class for technicians to upgrade to general a little bit later in the year. And of course, we always have our field day. July to September timeframe, we could all assemble as a group and go to a summit nearby or a park nearby. Park is probably more reasonable unless we got a lot of people that like to climb mountains. We could do the search and rescue activity. And then October to December, we could come up with some kind of activity. We can do a contest or something on digital. We can figure out, okay, we're going to set up a mesh network and try to get everybody to send a WinLink message to everyone else on the exercise, something like that. Somebody, go ahead. Whoever had a comment, go ahead.
That's Rick. Hey, we forgot the Talk to Santa for December.
Oh, you're right, Rick. I was going to put that on the schedule. I think I ran out of room.
That's okay.
Rick has Rick has a great idea on that. So go ahead.
Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know. I really love the Talk to Santa moment. I thought we could do a Talk to Santa week and have that advertised heavily, planned now, and hit like Grantsville, Solberg's in Stansbury Park, Lucky 7, Macy's, Walmart, all of them. And depending on how many radios are in the trailer, let's say we have 4 active for the kids, we'll have 4 operators on those other ends on 4 separate frequencies. I think it would be an absolute panic, great time for everybody, and especially showing the children what a great moment the radio is. You know, that would last forever. But I'd be happy to work with anybody on that. I'm a big Christmas person anyway, so. Been trying to go that Santa beard, but it never made it, so.
You and me both. It gets much longer than this, and the wife tells me it's a little
Roger,
scruffy.
you know.
Yeah, thanks, Rick, for bringing that up. That was one of the key things I wanted to put on this, and somehow I left it off. So thanks for reminding me. But those are the kind of ideas and volunteers that we're looking for here, that we're fishing for here tonight. So,
Hey, Tyler.
Yes.
This is Mike, and I'll put it up on the chat just so we have a record of it. The Scouts, the Boy Scouts, or I guess it's now Scouts BSA, because they allow girls in, but they have something called Jamboree on the Air. Roger probably knows a little more about that than I do, because when I mentioned it last year, he kind of grabbed and ran with it. But that might be something else that we possibly might want to look at.
I have heard of the Jamboree on the Air. That's a great idea. I'm in support of that.
Oh, thanks, Trevor, for putting that up there.
I would like to try to do a fox hunt. Thought that it would be something that you could maybe even do in your cars and go a little further away. Depending on what type of antenna we built. But does anybody else have an interest in a fox hunt?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things I would love to get together.
Well, I've got the transmitter for it.
Oh, Roland has a transmitter. Okay. Well, Scott, I think you just volunteered.
Check your radio. Somebody's transmitting over the repeater that's on this chat on the meeting.
A couple of years ago, we did the picnic out at Stansbury. We did a little fox hunt there too. And also too, this last year we were talking about doing a fox hunt when we did the field day. So that might be something else to do also.
Okay, that's a great idea. All right, well, that's all I had for you. I really appreciate all the ideas that everybody, I see there's a bunch of messages in the chat. I can't wait to dig through that ideas, and Roland or I will be in touch if you volunteer, and we'll get that schedule hammered out a little bit more so you can use pen to write it in your calendar instead of the pencil. That's all I've got. Unless anybody wants to add anything more or bring anything else up, we'll turn it back to Roland.
Okay, all you got to do is stop sharing your screen.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. There you go.
Okay, well that pretty much wraps up what we planned for this evening. So, if you want the vaccine, go get yourself registered. If you want to participate somehow in any type of activity that Tyler was talking about, email us or put it in the chat room, and we'll start organizing it. But we need, if we're going to do that virtual boot camp in say March, we're going to need a number of presenters, to be able to do that. The boot camp we did a year ago, a year ago February, was it was really, really successful, but it was done in person. And this would not be done in person. We would need to be doing it virtually. As far as being able to hold meetings in person again, in my discussion with Bucky, he's really thinking it's going to be May at the earliest, before they feel like they've got enough people in the county area vaccinated that the infection rates start to drop, and when the infection rates finally start seriously dropping, then they'll start considering holding in-person meetings. But nevertheless, whether we're holding an in-person meeting or not, we'll still be putting it up on Zoom and recording it, like we're recording the one this evening. All right. Last call. Anybody have anything they would like to bring up before we end the meeting?
Yes.
Speak up.
This is Dennis.
Go ahead.
Okay, while we are sitting here doing this Zoom meeting, I have been continuing to watch what's been going on at the Capitol. I would like to urge everyone, regardless of their political associations, to remain calm during this period of unrest. This is a beautiful country. I've given my life to serving my country and my fellow citizens, and I am heartbroken today. I am prepared to do what has to be done to protect myself and my family and my community. But I urge everyone to take and put a filter on anything you're thinking, anything you're saying. How will it affect things? We must be a peaceful country. I love this country.
Thank you, Dennis.
Let's be safe.
You know, I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thank you. I appreciate that. And the, you know, and what's going on at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. is a disgrace. Okay. Anybody else have anything they would like to bring up before we end the meeting? Otherwise, go ahead. Oh, you're back.
Okay. The everyday 1 o'clock meeting, net meeting that we have, how set are we on having it at 1 o'clock? You know, a lot of people are at work and their breaks don't line up with that 1 o'clock, and you know, Utah's not giving out many breaks anyway. So, is there a way to move it to later in the day? I mean, I'm cool with having it every day. It's just, you know, I'm only capable of doing it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, for instance, because that's when I'm not working. But all the other days I can't. Is this something that we set up that time, you know, for 1 o'clock, or has it been dictated by someone else?
Your thoughts, Roger?
It's something that we set up. I think when we first started having it, when the COVID broke out, we did it at 1 o'clock. There's no, you know, it's not chiseled in stone. We can do it whenever they want. If they want to have a net every evening, we could do that. But there were some people who didn't want to have an evening net because it was too late for them. On Thursday, we're going to do our evening net. We're changing it to 7 p.m. instead of 9 p.m. So, like I say, it's not chiseled in stone. We could have a net every evening at 7 p.m. if that's what they want. It's just whatever the people want.
Anybody else have any comments?
I just think there'll be a lot more people checking in if it was later in the day, because you know more people are. I mean, there's still a bunch of people who work. You know, not everybody works from home, or retired, or have a capability of. Like I would totally do it if my business building was not made out of steel and I cannot get the radio out. But they will not let me out. You know, have a break at that time. I mean, if it's been talked over and it's been set up already as it is, 1 o'clock is 1 o'clock. It's fine. I guess I'll just check in at, you know, on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays as I can. I'm not complaining by any means. It's just a thought.
Anybody else have anything related to
Roland,
it?
can I say something?
Sure.
Hey, Con, I think that net was set up mainly for those that are stuck at home and not able to be social or go to work. We have quite a few members that are that are elderly that don't go out, and I think that's why they set it up at 1, because that's a time that those people are able to get on. And don't forget on Thursday night at 7 we also have the net. But those are that's the reason why 1 o'clock was set up. But like Roger said, it's not set in stone. So
No, it's cool. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. I mean, I'll get on there when I can. You know, sometimes I get a day off too.
All right. Okay, well, with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Aye.
I'll second that motion too.
Okay, so Scott seconded it, and who, is that you, Tyler, that motioned?
Yeah, I did. Somebody else did too, but I'll take the blame this time.
No,
Okay.
I've motioned on plenty of things already tonight. You can have it, Tyler.
All right, fair enough, Mike.
Okay. Well, thank you all. Appreciate you. It's been a delightful hour and so together. And the chat's been saved. 73.
Happy New Year.
Happy hamming.
Happy New Year, 73s.
Good night, everybody.